Good morning, everybody. Matt Modi here with another episode of the Dong Report, where I give out my favorite MLB home run predictions of the day. So as for today, I got 3 home run picks for you guys to lock in. We're talking Wednesday, July 24th. Of course, before we can get into yesterday, we have to do a recap of yesterday, which was finally a good day on the Dong Report. It had felt like ages since we had gotten a Dong to mash, but we were able to get one yesterday. Thank you to Tyler O'Neill for coming through for us. He was the only one of the 3 that did hit a home run, but hitting 1 home run does equal a profitable day with these home run picks in the Dong Report. So yesterday we were 1 for 3, 1 right, 2 wrong, up 1.08 units. We haven't quite done a good enough job bringing back our losses on the year, but it's a start. On the year, we are down over 14 units. Obviously, that's terrible, almost 15 units. But I will say, since June 1st, we are in the green, albeit slightly in the green. We were a lot better after this recent, before this recent cold streak, but we are up since June 1st, slightly up. But that does include a pretty brutal cold streak that we have been on for the past 7 to 10 days. And taking into account the All-Star break and all that stuff. So hopefully we are coming out of that. Hopefully we have a good day today. If you are not already, I would appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button for this specific video. If you could like, if you could comment. And then if you're interested in getting all my plays sent to you, it's $5 a month. It gets sent directly to your phone. I have a Dub Club account where you can sign up, get all my plays texted to you for $5 a month. So if you're interested, just check that out in the link in the description of the video. And let's chat some dongs. So play number 1, we are heading to the Astros versus the Athletics game, and I'm taking Yordan Alvarez to hit a home run, plus 325 odds. This is best effort offered at BetRivers. You can also get it at FanDuel for plus 320. So if you're like me and you don't give BetRivers your business, you can also get it at plus 320 at FanDuel. So Yordan, he has been absolutely just crushing the ball recently, and he's really starting to come along. After a pretty slow start to the year, he had a really brutal kind of April, May timeframe, but he's really coming on as of late. And especially if you look at his stats since the MLB and he returned from the All-Star break, he's been great. He's played 5 games. In those 5 games, he's got a combined 10 hard hits, averaging 2 hard hits per game is very good. But what's really ridiculous is in that stretch, he has a hard hit rate of 83.3%. Which obviously that's crazy, and that's going to go down. Obviously, he's not going to hit the ball 80% at a rate, 80% hard hit rate moving forward. But just kind of going to show you how much he has been annihilating the baseball. And also look at like barrel rate, 41.7%. Fly ball rate, 66.7%, meaning 2/3 of the time he makes contact with the baseball, he's hitting a fly ball. Average exit velocity of 104.4 miles per hour and a average launch angle of 27.2 degrees. The fact that he has only hit 1 home run since the MLB returned from the break is just incredibly unfair to Yordan Alvarez when you look at his stats. I mean, that's a player that should have hit like 4 to 5 to 6 to 7, 10 basically home runs. When you look at these stats, I mean, they're absolutely absurd across the board. So the fact that he's only hit 1, I mean, that is he has extreme positive regression coming from the home run department. You look at all those numbers and you think, all right, this guy's going to go on a binge. Luckily for him today, he's got a great matchup against a mashable pitcher in JP Sears of the Athletics. Now, to get the negative out of the way first, Sears is a left-handed pitcher, and you might think, okay, well, I only want to target Yordan Alvarez when he's going up against righties as opposed to lefties. Well, he does hit for slightly better power against righties. His splits aren't that dramatic, and you could actually make the argument that he has been better against lefties this year. Just look at his stats across the board. So here are his stats against right-handed pitching. Average 275, slugging 525, OPS 898, ISO rate of 25%, and a WOBA of 378. That's our stats against right-handed pitching. Here are stats against lefty. Average 361, that's better. Slugging 598, that's better. OPS 1.019. That's better. ISO rate of 23.8%. That's lower. And then his WOBA is 430. That's higher. So literally every single stat, except for ISO rate, is better against left-handed pitching than it is against right-handed pitching. Now, ISO rate is an important stat. It measures essentially power, how often the batter hits the ball for power, extra base hits, stuff like that. But an ISO rate of 23.8%, against left-handed pitching, that is still in the great category as defined by FanGraphs, which defines a great ISO rate between 20 and 25%. Anything 25% and above is considered excellent. So still great numbers, nothing to be scared of there. And then looking at JP Sears, 5th worst barrel rate allowed, 18th highest hard hit rate allowed, 16th highest launch angle allowed, and the 19th fastest average exit velocity allowed as well. Yordan, he doesn't have great stats against the Sears in his career, but he should be able to come through for us, mashing a monster dong for us tonight. Let's hope he does. Next up, Red Sox versus Rockies. I'm taking Rafael Devers to hit a home run, plus 350 odds at Fanatics. Devers, another lefty batter, just like Yordan Alvarez, who has been on fire. And while Devers has not hit a home run since we returned from the All-Star break, his stats still look phenomenal. So he's kind of similar, not to the same extent, but kind of similar to Yordan Alvarez in that the home runs are going to start coming for him. He's going to start going on a home run binge. Now, his stats, don't compare them to Yordan, because Yordan's stats are just comical since the return of the All-Star break. Granted, it's been 5 days, so obviously it's a tiny, tiny sample size. But Devers has been hitting the ball hard. He's tied with his teammate Tyler O'Neill with 9 hard hits in the 5 games since the return of the All-Star break. He actually has a higher average exit velocity, a faster average exit velocity than O'Neill in that stretch as well. Tyler O'Neill has hit 4 home runs since the break. Devers has 0. Now, the biggest reason for that is the launch angle. Devers has not quite been able to get under the baseball. That's why he hasn't hit a home run since the return of the All-Star break, but he's still hitting the ball really hard. And if you widen the scope, not looking at a 5-game sample size, but look at the last month, I mean, you can make the argument Devers has been one of the best hitters in baseball. He's got 9 home runs in that stretch, which is incredible. He has the second most hard hits over the last 30 days. He's only behind Bobby Witt Jr., who's on just another level in terms of hitting the ball hard. What the issue with Devers is he's got a low fly ball rate of 29%. Now, he's hit 9 home runs while still having that low fly ball rate. And Devers generally is not one of those batters that is just consistently putting the ball in the air. He's not a Jose Ramirez that he hits a fly ball basically every time he makes contact. His fly ball rate on the year is 37.4%, which is generally lower than we look for. But obviously, the 37.4% is higher than 29%. And even with that low fly ball rate, he still crushed 9 home runs in the last 30 days. If you look at the entire season, Devers has been phenomenal. 3rd best ISO rate in the MLB at 29.1%, a barrel rate of 14.6%. That's the 16th best barrel rate in the MLB. And for tonight, facing a right-handed pitcher in Cal Quantrill, Devers is much, much better when he's facing righties than when he is facing lefties. And these splits are dramatic, unlike the Yordan Alvarez one. His ISO rate against lefties, 14.4%. That's terrible. That's below average. His ISO rate against righties, 38%. That would be above Aaron Judge for the best ISO rate in the MLB. So, yeah, that's pretty good. And then looking at Quantrill, despite the fact he does pitch at Coors, he actually does not have horrible home run numbers. He keeps his fly ball rate is relatively low. He does a good job limiting barrels and stuff like that. His issue is when he's facing left-handed hitters, his hard hit rate jumps up from 29.5% against righties, which is a below average number, all the way up to 40.7% against lefties. That would be the worst hard hit rate allowed in the MLB. So it's kind of a match made in heaven with how Devers hits home runs versus the type of hits that Quantrill gives up, because Quantrill is not the guy that gives up a ton of fly balls, just like Devers isn't type of ball that hit or type of hitter to hit a lot of fly balls. So it kind of matches up with how Devers hits home runs versus the types of hard hits and stuff that Quantrill allows. Let's hope Devers comes through for us, mashing a monster dong. And then lastly, 3rd and final pick of the video, Giants versus Dodgers game, Teoscar Hernandez to hit a home run, plus 440 odds. This one is best offered at Caesars. Now, if you're sensing a theme here, the theme is these players have been annihilating the baseball since the MLB returned from the All-Star break. That's kind of what I've been diving into. Like, how are they performing after the long break? Long meaning 5 days, but still after the long break. Now, Teoscar didn't have a great game yesterday, didn't have any hard hits, but in the first 4 games back, he had a combined 9 hard hits. So he ties O'Neill with 9 hard hits since the MLB returned, with a barrel rate of 20% in that stretch as well. Now, he has hit 2 home runs in these 5 games, so this is not necessarily me saying that he's due for a positive regression home run binge, like I think that Yordan and Rafael Devers are. More so just riding the hot hand for Teoscar in what should be a pretty good plus pitching matchup, which we're going to get into. And in general, it's not like Teoscar is only having this recent hot streak. He's been pretty good on the year. ISO rate of 22.2%, barrel rate of 14.9%. He's in the great category in both of those stats. For barrel rate, anything between 10 and 15% is great. Anything 15% and above is excellent. So he's just below the excellent threshold, still considered great. No risk, nothing to be scared off of there. Now, the beauty in backing him tonight specifically is he's going up against a left-handed pitcher, and he's much, much better against lefties. These splits are more similar to Rafael Devers than they are Yordan Alvarez. His ISO rate goes from 18.7% against right-handed pitching up to 32.3% against lefties. It's a below average versus excellent ISO rate with all three, fly ball rate, pull rate, hard hit rate. All three of them are higher against left-handed pitching. Now, the pitcher is going up against Robbie Ray of the Giants. This is Ray's first start of the year. He's coming back from Tommy John. So he's not going to pitch very deep into the game. He might only get 1 or 2 at-bats against Robbie Ray. That's fine, because if it ends up being the Giants bullpen can be had. They have allowed the sixth most home runs in the MLB, while having the sixth worst ERA in the MLB as well. So whether it's against Ray or the bullpen, Teoscar Hernandez should be able to stay hot tonight. Let's hope he does. Let's hope we get one of these guys to hit a home run so he can be green for the day. Let's hope multiple hit a home run so we can be very green for the day. And that's all we got. I appreciate everybody for watching. Again, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and have a good one.